Hey guys, new video for you today. I'm going to be cranking these out as much as possible. My goal is around 3 to 4 videos a week, just going over a lot of different things, whether it's reviews on guns, new builds, customer builds, um, just general teching stuff, general discussion, just stuff like that. I'm going to try to just get as many of those videos out there and get the ball rolling on my YouTube channel. So please like and subscribe, and hopefully I can get a lot of views and get a lot of you guys interested in this, so that I can get the name out there, about J&J Airsoft. But anyways, without further ado, I'm going to go right into it, and this is a question that I get a lot, and so I feel like I should address it and just let everybody know my opinions on it, and that is, what do I think about HPA? Like, what are my opinions about HPA? Why haven't I made the switch? If you don't know what HPA is, it's essentially, paintball, but for airsoft. So you have a tank of air that is connected to your gun through a hose. Then you have either an SMP or a Polar Star, or there's new systems coming out because it's gaining popularity very quickly. And so the air is the driving force behind your BBs. You no longer have to worry about a mechanical system doing all the work. It's basically just the air. Like SMP stands for single moving part, and you can see how that could be very reliable, because a single moving part means there's very little room for any reliability or any any mechanical error. And then obviously the advantages that come with HPA are instant trigger response and rate of fire. I think those are the two biggest draws to HPA. Obviously, instant trigger response is awesome, especially in CQB situations where you really need to get those semi-automatic shots out quick. Rate of fire is more of a cool factor, in my opinion. Being able to crank it up all the way to like 70, 80 rounds per second and just make it sound like a minigun, essentially. It's all cool and dandy, but, it's not exactly something you need. And I feel like it is a little bit ridiculous, but I'll get to that in a little bit here. But anyways, the biggest reason why I haven't made the switch to HPA is because I feel like I don't need to. Obviously, I'm a tech, so my biggest goal is getting the best performance out of my guns and my customers' guns that I possibly can, with the least amount of money. And I feel like my SSG builds, my high-speed builds, are pretty much on par with most HPA systems. I've got that really fast trigger response. I've got that rate of fire. It might not be as instant or crisp as a Polar Star or SMP, but it's really close, and I feel like it competes, and it'll hold up against a game where HPA is a norm. My guns have that trigger response. I basically every single one of the guns I own, I feel extremely comfortable with. I can pull the trigger as fast as I want, and it's not an issue. As far as rate of fire goes, I can't crank up my guns to 70 rounds a second. You can do that maybe with DSGs, but DSGs, while they are super fast and awesome, the problem with those is they can be very unreliable. So as far as using a DSG for a customer build or something along those lines, I prefer not to do that, because they can be very unreliable because of the high speeds that you're running under such mechanical stress. But anyways, yeah, I feel like my guns are basically on par with HP, so I have not switched. That's my biggest reason for not switching. And obviously the advantage of not having to switch over to HPA is I don't have to carry a tank on my back, which is, one of the biggest reasons why I don't want HPA. And that's probably my second biggest reason, is I don't want to carry that tank on my back. I know there's a lot of guys will argue this point. They'll be like, well, there's different ways you can do it, or you can get this kind of tank, or if you just mount it this way, if you do this, you do that. It's like, okay, that's great, but I'm more of a milsim player. I like to feel like I'm only carrying absolutely what I need on my person, and carrying a big heavy tank around is just not my idea of having a good time airsofting. Now that might be different, for other people. Like I said, there's a lot of good arguments to be made, but that's just my personal opinion, and that's just what I like to do with my play style. So those are my two biggest reasons for not switching to HPA, because I don't feel like I need to, and because I don't want to be carrying a tank around. And they kind of go hand in hand, really. My guns are perfectly fine the way they are, and I don't have to carry a tank around, and I can compete, if not be basically on par with HPA. Whenever I go to Milsim, there's people with HPA. I don't feel intimidated like a lot of people do. I feel like I'm at home, and it's just another day airsofting for me. Um, I'm gonna touch a little bit on another reason that and full disclosure, I know a lot of people that are extremely responsible with HPA. I'll give a shout out to the Boogeymen. I know I've played with them before at Milsom City. I played with them during the Rhodesian Revolt, and they're very responsible, excellent group of guys. I think that they're one of the best examples of people that run HPA and do it responsibly. But then on the other spectrum of that, with that being said, you've got, I feel like HPA, it's such an easy system to be able to bump your FPS up, bump your rate of fire up. I feel like it's almost like overpowered in a way, like almost like how in video games sometimes there'll be weapons that are just really overpowered and people will abuse the crap out of them. And then what happens? It's not fun anymore for anybody, obviously at Milsim City, it's not really an issue because you can't crank up your FPS, you can't crank up your rate of fire that easily without somebody noticing. And obviously you can't shoot full auto at Milsim City, and as soon as you do, you're gonna get called out on it. So that's not a huge problem, but at least in CQB scenarios. But I feel like if it was a field game and you were allowed to use full auto, some people could really abuse that. I've seen it been abused a few times. And obviously there's a whole issue with jewel creep and using heavy BBs under a lot of air pressure. You can break skin, you can really hurt somebody. And so I feel like the problem with HPA is that since you can do those things, there's obviously there's always going to be the guy that's going to do that, and he's going to piss people off, he's going to hurt people, he's going to make it not fun. It takes only one person to make a day of airsoft total crap. We all know that. We've all been through it. We all know that guy. So that's another reason why I don't wave the HPA flag. I'm not on the HPA bandwagon, is because I feel like it is kind of you have to be responsible with that system because it is easily abused. But like I said, there are a lot of exceptions. I know a lot of guys that run it very responsibly. I know a lot of guys that are, just have great sportsmanship and they run HPA. So, it just depends on the person. But I like I said, I do feel that it is a system that is easily abused. But anyways, those are my thoughts on HPA. I know a lot of people have been wondering and they've been wanting to know what I think about it as an AEG tech. The day that they make an HPA system does not require a tank, or maybe the tank is this big and fits somewhere in the buffer tube or in the stock or something. I don't know. The day they do that is the day that I'll make the switch. But until then, my high-speed builds are work just fine, and I have a great time airsofting. I don't feel like I am a noob. I don't feel like I am I'm getting killed or something when I'm out playing because somebody's using HPA. I feel like I'm totally good. I can see where the draw would come from though, especially if you're a newer player just getting into airsoft, and you keep hearing HPA, HPA, HPA. Then obviously you're gonna start thinking, well, I might as well just get HPA because I don't have to worry about all the other things that come with getting an AEG. Because getting an AEG is you don't just get it and then use it and you're good. You have to take care of it. You might have to take it apart from now and then. It is mechanical. Something will eventually break and you have to take it to a tech. Just stuff like that. And I can see why a newer player might just think, okay, well, I'll just make the investment and go ahead and get HPA. But I feel like if you're more informed, you know more about AEGs, you know how reliable they can be under the right technician, under the right skill set, then I feel like you might lean towards more an AEG setup, and it's going to run you a lot cheaper and yield basically the same results. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it, guys. Obviously, it's just my opinion. I don't want anybody getting up in arms about what I think. But I would like to hear what you guys think. So comment below. Keep it PG. You know, be nice to each other, and let me know what you guys think. I'm really curious what the opinions are and what the the overall vibe is out there here, at least in Utah, for HPA. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Like I said, I'm going to try and getting these out as much as possible. I'm going to be trying to put together a weapons video of my Mark 18 with some different clips of gameplay and just stuff like that. So that'll be up probably later this week. Hopefully, I'm really hoping I can get it up later this week. But yeah, just watch for that, and please subscribe, like, let's get the ball rolling on my channel. I really want to get my subscribers up. I really want to get a lot of views because I want to get the name out there. I want people to know that I am here for you. I'm here to help you enter the airsoft world and learn you some knowledge, if you will. So anyways, guys, have a good Sunday evening, and I'll see you next time.